Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Reviving Mississippi. I'm your host, Keith the Stamps. We got our co-host, Mr. Jason Clark. What's going on, JC?
Man, I'm glad to be in the place, brother. How you been doing there?
Brother, I am doing well.
Long week.
Man, it has been a great week, long week,
Yes.
exciting week.
Yes, that's true.
A lot of good stuff going on all over the place.
That's always, ain't no way. We've been going, there's a lot been going on, especially this past weekend. But it's always good to see things are still moving in a good direction.
You know, I want to start the show off like we always do and remember those people who are going through bereavement.
Mm-hmm.
I tell y'all every week,
You're right.
you got to be a friend so you can have a friend
You're right.
during your time of need.
Yes, sir.
And I know it's many people that are going through bereavement, but I want to take a point of personal privilege and just remember the Carthan family, Dr. Carthan, former Mayor Eddie Carthan up in Holmes County, then supervisor, and the whole family, just good folks.
Yep.
They lost their brother, son, young brother, spirited actor, professionally trained actor, gone too soon, but we're not going to question God's will.
Yes.
And we just ask that you keep your hearts, keep them in your hearts, because death and loss of a son and a brother is never easy. It's, for him, he lost his wife a few years ago, now lose a son. And he has, the whole family has just endured a lot over the years. And we just send our prayers out to the Carthan family for always being good folks, trying to move Mississippi forward. But in this moment, we ask that you support them.
Keep them grounded.
Because they've supported many of us for a long time. And we just ask that you do the same thing in return for them during a time of need. And all the other families, we had Senator Norwood's wife pass away, homegoing services. The Welch family's homegoing services are coming up. It's just so many people who are going through bereavement, and it seems like every week. So that means that, one, we got to stay prayed up.
Yes, sir.
Two, we got to show up for our friends. Three, these folks have played pivotal roles in our community. So we got to step up.
Yep.
What'd you say, Jason? Get engaged.
Be involved and engaged.
That's right.
I mean, that's the way they do it, but as you said, that we definitely need that commission.
And as we begin every show, we always want to thank our underwriters. Our underwriters for today's show, Mr. Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan Transportation Service. You can go to www.mjs Transportation One for your transportation needs. He offers quality transportation service all over Mississippi. And he specializes in senior citizens and elderly care, but he also specializes in giving folks transportation. Especially, I heard something that's destabilizing over at the city of Jackson with the bus service.
Yeah, I heard
so
that.
Folks still need transportation. So let's make sure we provide that transportation. I see Mr. Timothy Brown tuned in.
Always.
As always, his brother had a wonderful birthday. Yep. Happy birthday again. Timothy, he's going to celebrate all month, I believe.
That's right. Which he should.
And also, other underwriters for today's show is Stamps Super Burgers. If you want some good food versus fast food,
yes, indeed.
Stamps Super Burgers been there for a long time. You know exactly where they are, what they do, what they have. I like that big super burger with those lemon pepper fries. Jason liked that whole garden between two pieces of bread, that veggie burger with the sweet potato fries. Either way it go, it's all good. But they are where they've always been. They've done some renovations, and we appreciate them for doing great work. If you tell them I sent you, they're not gonna give you a discount. Don't give me a discount. But because they're in business for real.
Yes, indeed.
Not for play.
Yes, indeed. Nothing wrong with that. I love it.
Jason, we have a young lady here today who is a esteemed product of Mississippi. And so often folks leave Mississippi and they don't come back. And so during the water crisis, she reached out to me a few years ago, and we connected then, and she's reconnected now because she wants to do a special project that she has worked with some of her colleagues out at Top Shelf Yale University to bring to Mississippi. So, ma'am, introduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. Evening, everyone. My mic on. Now it is. Thank you. Evening, everyone. My name is Ambria McDonald. People call me Bria for short. I am a proud Jackson native, Murrah High School alum, class of 2010.
Okay.
I left here and went to Howard University for undergrad, where I got my bachelor's in biology and chemistry, fell in love with water quality, doing some water research on the Potomac River.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
So then I just continued in my education, did some work at APA, learned a lot more about communities and their need for water quality, support and access. Then I just took all of that work, got my master's in public health, and I said, hey, girl, you got to finish, get this PhD. So I'm finishing up my PhD at Yale University, where I look at public health outcomes of contaminated drinking water sources.
You know, many people have different issues when it comes to testing, but for me, I believe that government should be an open book.
Respect.
I believe every service that government provides should stand up to third-party verification.
Yep, transparency. You're right.
You know,
Definitely right. But
because the history of the government has not always been truthful.
Definitely not always supportive.
And supportive. So she approached me about getting some support to do third-party testing and to go deeper into the data that has been presented to several entities, specifically in the city of Jackson. So talk about the work you want to do and how people can be aware of what you're trying to do.
Yeah, so I am largely concerned with lead contamination. And I have data that shows that the city of Jackson and anybody who's been serviced by Jackson Water, now called Jackson Water, was Jackson Municipal Supply back then, that there's been over 300 boil water notices released between 2020 to 2022. And that's important largely because boil water notices are only protective of getting rid of microorganisms or bacteria. It is not protective of getting rid of lead or any other type of metal concentration. That's also important because when you boil your water, you actually increase your metal concentration into the water. So I don't know about y'all, but I will take dysentery any day, what you usually get, right, the runs from drinking contaminated water with E. coli, for example, versus lead contamination. So my research has been designed to look at the before and after of what happens in the kitchen tap. So if you take, your water, you boil it, you want to use it for your household supply, for cooking, for brushing your teeth, etc. I want to see is there a difference between what happens prior to boiling the water and then afterwards. And I'm asking people across the city of Jackson, Byram, anybody that's on Jackson's water supply to sign up for my study. It is 100% free of charge to anybody that qualifies. You must be a household that has at least one child that is pregnant, one child age 5 years and under, a woman that is either pregnant or nursing, elderly, age 65 and older. I'm also looking at facilities. So if you are a nursing home, rehabilitation center, daycare center, early education, center, foster care, you name it. If you have a facility, you service those populations that I'm looking at, I need you as well. You can find our information on Google. You can do a quick Google search, say Jackson Water Study, Yale, and it'll come up for you. You could also, I think, Nikita passed along a flyer for you.
It's on the screen for those who are watching online.
Perfect. You can scan that QR code. It'll take you directly over to my intake form. Unfortunately and fortunately, water testing costs, and there is a budget. So I am only able to enroll a certain amount of people. So if you are across Jackson and Byram or any other location that receives Jackson Water, scan that QR code, fill out that intake form, and then me and my team will get back with you for enrollment.
Well, so like I said, I'm always a believer that outside third-party tests is important so that we can balance out the information we receive from government sources. And so I'm always supportive of these kinds of endeavors. So I'll look forward to seeing what your data shows in the end.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for taking it on your own to do this, to secure resources to do this, and to come back home and just help us to counterbalance information. If there is something, I'm not saying that there is impropriety.
Yeah.
But I'm always for researching and balancing out information that we're presented.
Yeah, I think that there are some pertinent gaps that is out there that my research would support. I know the Mississippi State Department of Health only does monitoring of households with lead contamination if the childhood lead level comes back above 15 micrograms per deciliter.
Right.
So there's a huge gap. CDC has it as 3.5 micrograms per deciliter. So what's happening at any point over that, increase? So in addition to that, they don't check for elderly. So looking at those vulnerable populations, the community truly that needs the support with the data is who we're definitely seeking out to help.
Okay. So is there a phone number someone could call if they are interested in participating, or how they contact you?
It is on my flyer that you just put up there, but I will say it out loud for anybody who is listening. It is 203-436-4369. Again, that is 203-436-4369. You can also email me at jacksonwaterstudy@yale.edu.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you for taking time out your schedule to come and spend some time back home and doing research instead of going on these fabulous summer vacations.
It's coming. When I get this research, the vacation is coming.
Well, we appreciate you for offering your talents back to your hometown.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
All right.
Always there.
Thanks a lot.
Have a good one.
Mr. Clark, what do you think about that?
Hey, well, I love great information always, especially when she made a statement about when the water gets boiled. Information that I know about, I don't think the masses know about.
Right.
So that's always good that people share that and give them more transparency.
Hey, I'm all about it.
If anything, I would say that you can reinforce the trust that we need to have in the community when it comes to our government.
And ladies and gentlemen, as you always know, all I'm going to do is tell you what I found out.
That's it.
And let the chips fall where they may. It's not about a got you or a trying to do something to catch somebody. No, I just want folks to give me the correct information.
Well, that's what we sit here to do, though.
Right.
We sit here to actually, on behalf of the citizens.
I pray that she comes back and offers us data that backs up everything that the city and the state of Mississippi is telling us. That's my prayer.
But that only will reinforce the trust, that you guys are being transparent.
That's right.
But I love it.
Or if she comes back with something different, then it was a whole different conversation.
It's kind of like with the show, Commissioner. We don't get to screen nothing. We don't get to have no
the
side.
Information is what it is.
I got you.
It is what it is.
Yes, sir.
I also want to recap and thank some people. First and foremost, we had a great groundbreaking just the other day.
Yes, sir.
Amazon Web Services, we had a groundbreaking of a 10. Let me see if I got the right picture. We got a groundbreaking of a $10 billion plant.
Yes, sir.
In Madison County. One part is right next to Canton. Mayor Truly up there says, "Hey, since y'all butt up to my city limits, welcome to Canton."
He did great. He represented the city lights great. I love that.
Yeah, I'm proud of that section. The other section is he would have come over.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
But I'm also proud of the economic development efforts that have led to the other section. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, we were working this project for years. This is not something that just happened. But the right leadership got in place January 1 to pull a trigger to put us in a position to move forward on this deal. And it's going to be 1,000 jobs,
Yes, sir.
high-paying, high-skilled jobs, split between two operations. There's roughly 800 and something acres next to Tulu on I-20, on a 220.
220, yes, sir.
In Madison County, and the other sections about almost a little over 800 acres right next to Canton on I-55. And we were at the I-55 location and to see the training center and see the new technology. You know, for far too long, Mississippi has been chasing other industries, but the future is all about data.
It is.
Every time we take a picture on a phone, that picture has to be stored somewhere. Every app we download and that app has pictures. That's creating the need for more data. Now we're into the artificial intelligence. That's the future. Yeah. And now Mississippi has the capacity to service the need of the economy of the future. And that's what data centers will be. They play a critical role in our future, but they also, you know, offer a ripple effect for economic development.
You know, when you made that statement right there, Commissioner, one statement was made was like, yes, we are going to have 1,000 jobs, but we're going to have a direct ecosystem of 2,700 jobs.
Right.
They stated. So I'm just saying, so it's they got it. I mean, I'm listening, taking notes. So
right. And so
important.
And so there's also investment in the Delta.
Yep.
I know a lot of people always say, why don't things ever come to the Mississippi Delta? Well, roughly 1/10 of this deal is going to the Mississippi Delta because that would be $1 billion. Not 1 million, not 10 million, not 100 million, but $1 billion is going to be spent constructing a power plant in Washington County. This is why voting is important.
Yes, sir.
Because we were at the table.
Yes, you were. You were.
In the governor's mansion.
You were.
Late at night.
I was outside. You're right.
Going back and forth on the deal.
Yes, sir.
And by having the appropriate representation at the table, who had the mental capacity, and folks around the table having the keen knowledge of what was already happening, there was a power production plant, there is one right now in Washington County, that was due to be decommissioned. That means that it was going to be done away with, and they were going to have to receive their power from somewhere else. And so we got to talking around the table, and laid on the table, well, why don't we just build one across the street from the one that we were about to decommission? It'll lower our timeline. We don't have to get new permits and just turn the lights off on one and turn the lights on the other one, then demolish the old one, make a parking lot out of it, and move on. And we don't have to wait for federal approval because the land's already permitted for that use. And I want to thank the folks at Entergy, the governor's staff, MDA, who all looked at the suggestion, and I can't take sole credit for it, but around the table, they said, that's a good idea.
You know, Commissioner, can you elaborate on the point, though, on the monetary side?
Right.
You mentioned the tax-based side. You stabilize. Can you elaborate?
Well, first and foremost, I don't know when the last time somebody spent $1 billion to build anything.
You're right.
At that location. But that's going to be a huge impact when it comes to construction jobs, construction opportunities, and ongoing operations and maintenance of that facility. The folks who work there are high-skilled, high-wage employees who obviously live in that area. And it's going to have a ripple effect of economic development for years to come.
Yeah, well, you know, I when I was listening to it and listening to you breaking it down, I was saying, you know, as far as municipalities, they earn tax bases certain ways, you know, and when somebody can come in there and help you stabilize your tax base, it helps out the citizens to get better quality services.
That's right.
That's how I envision. The jobs and stuff are great, but that company got to pay tax. So that check they cut is going to help stabilize that county. That's a beautiful thing, right there.
That's right. You know, and so many times we don't pay attention to utilities.
Mm-hmm.
Where is my power coming from? How far am I away from the source of power that sends it to my home? Washington County was about to be a long ways away from where they receive their power. And now they have a production facility in that area. So stabilize the grid in that area. And it won't be as weak. And it's going to help economically as well.
I know the supervisors are, but they should be all excited. If I was one of them, I would be excited.
$1 billion? Because think about it, the size of this. The previous record, which we set a few years ago, was a little over $2 billion.
That's right. Yeah.
So to have a facility that's $1 billion in the Delta, and there are many more, but I'm talking specifically about this because people say all the time, why don't they do things in certain areas? And, it's a joy to see something you hope for, that you study for, that you move in the moment to receive, get executed in the moment. And I appreciate everybody involved. I can't take total credit for it. It's a team effort when it comes to all these things.
But Commissioner, just to say this on that point, about utilities and making that ground more wealthy, right? To this point, when you do get something like that up in your area, you also put yourself in a position to get other things in your area. So that's another future investment, not just a present day event. I'm talking about for other future industries, because I'm pretty sure this data world or just the future of AI, people are be looking for more and more places to actually bring their, so that's another eye that constituents should be looking at too also.
Again, it's a great week in Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
To have the grand opening of that facility. We also welcomed in on that same day, I think I brought the picture in here, we also welcome in our new intern.
Oh, yes.
For the Public Service Commission, Miss Nyla McClure from Utica, Mississippi.
She's down there at 18.
Utica, Mississippi. She's a junior at Tougaloo College.
Intelligent young lady.
Very intelligent, very bright. First day, she ends up going to grand opening, and she got a chance to meet several of the senior staff and leadership, governor, Congress people, senators. So it was a great day. We're looking forward to great things from her, because I learned a long time ago, it's not just about getting in position. It's about exposing the next generation to the opportunities of the position you're in, so that they can stand on your shoulders and move further, be brighter, and show their talents to the world.
I mean, the exposure and experience goes a long way. I used to always tell people when I was around the third grade reading grade gate issue, challenge in Mississippi, I remember telling the children not illiterate, they just need to be taught basic fundamentals. But that also comes to being exposed to those type of things. So even when we're like, the young lady, she's a college student right now, but that exposure is taking her mind from a whole nother perspective now.
That's right.
That she probably didn't equate into whatever she already knew already. So that's you setting up your, I think I call it up next, or next up.
That's right.
You setting them to pass the finish line. And I love that. We got to do more of that. I know you said you wanted two, but I think right now you're just trying to get one right now.
We're just taking it step by step. We're trying to take it step by step. Because I'm a firm believer that there's enough room. If everyone mentors somebody, you should live your life first having a mentor, and then secondly, being a mentor, so that you can continually learn and share what it is that God has given you the opportunity to do.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a believer also that if anybody is a quality leader, they will always have someone with them to show and expose great opportunities to, and not just about yourself.
Yeah.
You should always be trying to nurture the generations that are coming behind you.
Hey, say mouthful right there, man. Might get us in trouble right there now. I guess I'm starting.
That's what we gotta do. Also, I want to say hats off to my father, Delmer Stamps. I know he's listening. That I love you. He hosted a field day on the phone with several partners, In Touch, Mississippi Center for Justice. I don't want to start naming names, so I'll leave some folks off. But they hosted a very important field day on the farm today. And I had the opportunity to learn a little bit. You know, every time I turn around and think I know something, I realize that I don't know what I know. You ever had that feeling, Jason?
Oh, I have it quite opposite. I'm always trying to learn something new every day.
Let me make sure I put this information right. They had a Climate Smart Ag field day and workshop down at Stamps Farms. The topics they covered were USDA conservation programs and soil health, smart vegetable planting, weed control, fish pond management. Now that session was great because the brother jumped in the pond. So everybody was telling me, it was like, you actually gonna jump in the pond? So he jumped in the pond, put his net through there, and pulled out a few fish and other things to show people what's underwater. And he talked through how to manage and take care of your pond. Looked at livestock breeding, grade control structure, farm fencing, livestock watering facilities. And then the Mississippi Center for Justice had a critical piece on air property. And we talked about utilities, specifically natural gas and broadband, from our perspective. But those workshops are important. I know many times I see people, they know my father and they know my family. Sometimes we don't give people their value.
Oh, yeah.
When I tell you this man is an expert in agriculture and small farming, a literal expert. I'm not talking just because he's my father.
I know, I got you.
All right. First, he grew up digging in the dirt, learning small farming by being one in a small farm. All right. Then he and his next door neighbor / best friend go to Utica Junior College, then go to Alcorn where he studied chemistry and agronomy and learn the professional part to it, the technical pieces. Then he spent 40 years working in USDA, helping small farmers all over this state. Now, even though we lived all over, he traveled all over during that time period where, you know, he started off in Jackson, then went to Brandon, then Forest, and Meridian, and Port Gibson, and then moved to Brookhaven, and to Jackson, then to Vicksburg, and back to Jackson. And during the time period, he was all over the state of Mississippi. Every day he'd come home to the dinner table telling a story about what's happening in Yazoo County, what's happening in North Mississippi, what's happening, not what's happening on the news.
There you go.
What's happening with the dirt? What's happening on small farms? And then when he got off work every day, he'd come home, he'd get home about 5:30. He'd grab me, we'd go down to the farm and stay till 9:30, 10 o'clock. So I was literally, I don't know what it's like not to have a father.
Gotcha.
So when I say I spent 4 or 5 hours a day one-on-one with my dad, all day on Saturday, and then we Baptists, so we farm before church and after church on Sunday. You know, when I was about, I was a young guy, I was about between 8 and 10. I said, Daddy, when are we gonna be done? He said, done? He said, oh, let me think about that. Here I am, 47 years old, I'm still not done. Because I said that we're going to work, but when the work gonna be over?
Lifestyle. It's lifestyle. Yeah.
So people ask me all the time, why do you always do stuff? Because that's what I grew up doing. Yeah. I grew up working all the time. And my father and my uncle, great uncles, and great grandfather, and all those folks were always working, farming, doing something. Pigs, and cows, and gardening, and farming, and corn, and everything.
I was, you know how you always talk about the ecosystem. People understand that that's one of the largest industries in the state of Mississippi is agriculture.
That's it. And there's so many people disconnected from it. So today's workshop was phenomenal. They had a lot of people out there. And in the farming community, it's not racial. It's farmers and not farmers. You got black folks and white folks sitting around the table, sitting around talking about, this is what I do on my farm, this is what I do on my farm, this is the practice I use, this is what I do. Networking, sharing, because in rural Mississippi, you got to depend on each other.
Yeah, a lot of us, I call it city mouse and country mouse. They don't really go out there and see how the country mouse live. They need to go out there and really see how they live. When you don't have a ambulance that can just, you call 911, they right there. Now you gotta wait till the air ambulance come in to a field and land down. I'm just or for firefighter. I'm just saying out there in the rural, y'all do a lot of things totally different.
Oh, totally different.
Than the city, and the city takes an advantage of it. But I understand out there in the rural Mississippi, it's two different worlds.
Oh, it's because in rural Mississippi, all you have is your neighbor.
I'm saying no Walmart. So you need a farm.
We need to work together. I grew up. There were black and white folks coming in to drop, harvest off on our porch, and we drop stuff off with them. Like, hey, I got these fish. They drop them off, and we drop stuff off over here, and there's a whole ecosystem.
It's peaceful out there too. I'd say it's quiet, beautiful at nighttime. I mean, I've been out there around with you for a while, so I've been exposed to some of this different types of life, and I'm like, y'all have a whole nother world out here that many of us don't know at all. But once again, the farming world is a big industry. Even with AI coming here now, a lot of people don't even understand. AI is greatly influenced now when it comes to agriculture.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they got those drones. They can tell how many is yielding the plant or the tree is yielding one another. That goes into another number, how much you're going to sell. And I mean, it creates jobs.
And technology is moving forward. It's going to advance the farming industry. But I just wanted to say, before I leave the point with my father, he's a jewel. And when he does these things, people should participate.
Yes, sir.
Because you're drawing from a deep well.
Gotcha.
This is not something that you just gonna Google.
Yeah. You can't Google. Matter of fact.
It's not something that you actually, a lot of this is not stuff you even gonna go to AI about.
Yeah.
Okay. Because the calibration of a sprayer, the science book can tell you one thing, that you can just, change the pressure, and it's gonna change, how much goes out, and you can change the mixture of the liquid. But a farmer gonna say, well, you can speed up and slow down and do the same thing. The speed of the tractor.
The speed of the tractor. I got you.
You know what I mean? So the weather conditions. So having practical expertise. This is a young man who has the most extreme amount of technical expertise and an extreme amount of practical expertise. So imagine having Deion Sanders teaching you how to sprint.
You're right.
It's not just somebody who just knows the proper form and can just talk you through it, but it can actually show you how to do it and have years and a lifetime of experiences. And like I said, I harp on my father a lot because I don't think he gets the credit he deserves for the expertise that he offers, because people see him around a lot and they don't really understand the value that's there. They just know that's Delma. Yes, that's Clotilde's son. Down in Morningstar Missionary Baptist Church. And learn it. They see that. But it's more depth to what's there. So I just want to, hats off to my father for what he's doing. He's trying to have these field days to impart wisdom, because it's not just about, let me expose my son. It's about, let me expose everybody to these opportunities. So stay connected, stay engaged in future activities and events. And so they talk about real things all the time.
Let me say one more thing, Commissioner. These last 6 months or even more, we've been talking about skills and jobs. So another thing I call him Pops is doing, he's actually doing what we've been pushing. He's pushing the whole industry and saying it's a job to skill for this job, this job, this job, this job.
And it's transferable.
I'm saying he's pushing, talking about deep well. I'm analyzing what you say as I'm hearing you. He's pushing a lot of job security right now. That's what he really pushing.
These are recession-proof, AI-proof jobs.
So if everybody's listening, I want to make sure that the children and their, their nieces and nephew, grands, daughter, son, all that, they need to be make sure they get more exposure
That's right.
to these industries that will be here. They're not going nowhere.
That's right.
If anything, they're finna go in a bigger demand.
That's right. That's right. All the time. Also, I want to highlight a young lady. Let me see if I got her picture up here. Latrice Rogers.
Oh, Miss Rogers, boy.
For those at home, I got her picture pulled up there. Today, she had her grand opening over at Goddess Links. Goddess Links, you know, she came here several years ago, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
She came here with an amazing idea.
Go ahead.
She came with an amazing, and sat right here. She sat right in this seat that's empty next to me. And she said, and my jaw dropped when she said it. She said, I have been selling hair out my trunk.
Mm.
And she was doing well. Selling hair out her trunk, right here at Westland Plaza. And she said, I want to come on your show because I got an idea. I want to sell hair in a vending machine.
Serious about it, too.
And dead serious.
Mm.
Now, while I don't buy hair,
No, you know that. Yeah.
I don't even, I had hair then.
Yeah, I got it.
But for her to have the inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
then have the commitment to see it through and actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
She put that vending machine in North Park Mall. And now she has hundreds of vending machines all over the country in malls everywhere.
Yeah, I love it.
That's when I say God is a creator and you tap into your divine self when you create.
She's dreaming. She manifesting her dreams. I tell you that much.
And she's rebuilt her life. Let me pull her picture one more time. This young lady right here has rebuilt her life and changed lineages.
Yeah.
Her hard work, her husband, Cliff, good folks. Y'all know the trees? Excuse me, Miss Rogers.
I said Miss Rogers. I met her. I was like, hey,
Right.
Miss Rogers.
Just to see her move forward. And now she's right there on Meadowbrook.
3906. Come on now.
And I've never seen this before in my life, ladies and gentlemen. This young lady now has a drive-through window
Drive-through window.
for hair.
You can app any
You just go online, buy, boom, 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 and get what you need and keep on going.
I like that though. You just don't know. Somebody.
And right behind it, they bought not just that piece, the building right next to it is a restaurant.
They reinvesting back into the city. Did she do that? Did she come back and bring her resources?
Okay.
And reinvest back in the city and to provide a need?
Right. So now they got two businesses
Man.
right back in.
I saw you tasting that food that year. I think it was good.
It's good food. I was hungry. I've been on the farm all morning. I was starving. But what I'm saying is this is an example
Oh, yeah.
that everyone should be able to pull from and say, you know, what can I do?
Mm-hmm.
Because if she can sit right here, she can go right from Westland Plaza
Come on now.
in her trunk, selling hair in her trunk, and has built a multi-million-dollar business. You hear me now? Now,
She's a worker too, though. I want to
she's
make
a hard worker now.
because we stopped by the day before and she was in the work clothes working.
Oh yeah,
Like she was work like
yeah.
that.
We still, so you know, I'm not gonna put the picture we took when she was in her work clothes, but she dolled up,
Yeah, she dolled up.
glamorous here. But she the other day,
She
she had her paint clothes on. They was in there sawing stuff,
And she
was
said
doing-
that. She said, I put my love and my soul in everything I do. I said, man, it's showing.
Oh,
I saw two different sides of you.
and when you see the detail,
Mm-hmm.
when you see the finer details, the style points, she didn't just put a business there and
No.
paint it. No, you see that extra effort here, that extra
Mhm.
investment here to make something that I've never seen before, not just in Jackson. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, well, I never seen a vending machine before. And I never seen a drive-through before. So that's two things she doing already. I never seen.
And in Mississippi, I've never seen a live mannequin.
Oh yeah, that's her.
I mean, she had real people
Yeah, yep.
as mannequins.
For the whole period, it was up there.
Yeah.
I said, oh, this is some real stuff.
I mean, she is serious about what she's doing, but that just goes to show that when you put God first,
Mm-hmm.
and you put all you have into something, you can create something amazing. Don't just sit back on your laurels and watch life go by.
Nah.
You can take the goodness of God in you and go do something amazing. You can create. If you don't have a space, create a space.
There you go.
Create a space.
Find your team and a good nucleus that work with you and move forward. Cause she got a good herself and her team was serious about handling business today and yesterday. Seriously.
And that's not the only venture they have. They have other things going on as well. But that's continued reinvestment in our community. And hats off to her family, and everything that they're doing, because to keep those talents here when you could go all over the world.
Yeah.
Also, hats off to the next season of the Bell Collective. All the bells are in there, glimmering and shining, and I appreciate all of them for what they've done over the years to showcase a different narrative of Mississippi.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know everybody that's on the show well, but I do know a few of the cast members. They've been good friends over the years, and I look forward to future things from them. Before we wrap up, any parting words, Jason?
Commissioner, I think we had a great week this week thus far. I mean, it's like Wednesday to Wednesday means a week for me.
That's right.
So, that's right. But I do want to say that Mississippi is moving forward. I would like for everyone, especially in Greater Jackson area, do some things that I do. I think I told you this, but I drive around the city. And when I drive around the city, I see nothing but opportunity. Yes, there's some obstacles, but I see a lot of opportunity. And if you know that, then you should be finding your like-minded people doing the same thing that Miss Rogers is doing.
That's right.
Use that creation. There's a demand for that. I think you told me it's called CON. It's a certificate of need. So I look at a community of need. There's a community of need. And if you feel that need, guess what? You're going to win.
That's right.
You just got to keep on striving, keep that vision, and keep that dream alive. When out there, used to say that we're not dreaming. I'm trying to make sure I start back dreaming a little more better.
Hey, I'm telling you, I was at school, and I try to go to a school as much as I can.
I know.
But when I looked into the eyes of our young people, you know, we were young. We used to say, "Oh, I want to be this. I want to do this. I want to do this." It hurt my heart when this came to me. I said, our children see so much, but they dream so little. Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. Our children see so much, but they dream too little, too small. We got to help our young people to dream again. That's where they get the advancement from, because they start to dream a little bit.
Unique, creative, is original, is their own, and they can just see themselves thriving. The energy it vibrates. I mean, it's you're right. That's what I saw today when she did her grand opening.
Yeah.
She had to envision that.
That's right.
The drive-through window, who, and I'm being honest, like, who would have thought of that?
Right. Who'd have thought about putting her in a vending machine?
I'm just being, and so.
And the line was around the corner.
Yeah.
To use a vending machine. So from a business standpoint, the cost of investment is lower.
Come on.
The margin is higher. And you have no employees to deal with at the vending machine. Now you have back-end support.
But you're also creating jobs out of it, though.
Right.
You're also still creating more jobs, but you're also bringing to the customer, like, I'm talking about like 5-star. Boom, it's right here in your hand.
Right.
Kind of all the middleman as much as possible.
That's right.
Do you know when you get to go on that app and order, I need a little, something for my hair origin, something for whatever I may need, that I can put that in the app.
We got our own Madam CJ Walker.
Yep. No, seriously, we do.
Walking beside us. Again, we have to give greater value to the talent that we have.
Mississippi, we have a lot of talent here, a lot of originals out here in the industry. So you're talking about right
That's
now.
right.
Yeah.
Full time, parting words, Jason.
But say, I'm looking forward to keep on pushing it forward. So we got a big week next week and here on out. So go ahead. So I'm sometimes saving my energy up, get ready for that. So
all right, we're gonna be in the office tomorrow, but Friday.
Come on now.
We're gonna be in what we're gonna be Jason? Lee County.
Yeah, Lee County.
Lee County, we coming Friday to the Kiwanis meeting. All right, we're gonna light Lee County on fire. We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna share what we have in plan for East Mississippi, not just Lee County. We'll be sharing what we have for all of East Mississippi. I want to say hats off to the whole team. We put together a great town hall last night.
Oh yes.
Always, we are prepared, and we do the same thing. Whether it's 2 people or 2,000.
But great questions from the audience yesterday evening. Great question, great participation.
Go back and look at the video from last night.
Mm-hmm.
The lights were shining bright on us, so that made me look like I was like white. But it was cool. That's cool. Hats off to the team. Rachel Ring, always did a great job. High energy.
Was it George,
Jared, Jason, the whole team, and Stephanie Foster, and everybody who attended, and the folks at Hines.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. Thank you to Tougaloo College for the partnership on our internship. And we have several homegoing services this week. We have homegoing service for Mr. Carthan, and we also have homegoing service coming up before the next show. I believe for the next show for the Welch family. But let me check and make sure that I'll post that information once I get it. And all the others. Stay engaged, everyone. We have so much going on that it really takes a prayed up life. On a daily basis. Everyone must have a regimen, a process you go through at the end of the evening to detox today so it doesn't bleed over into tomorrow.
That's enough for
process, especially men.
The secrets out here now.
I'm trying to get I'm trying to get my pearls of wisdom as a man or woman, but I can only speak as a man.
Right, yes, sir.
There's so much toxicity in the world, not just in the food, but in the vibrations and the thoughts and what you see, that you have to have a time. They talk about me at home. My daughter said, you spend an hour a day. I do. Because that's my time to regroup. Right. I'm asking you personally, ladies and gentlemen, take some time for yourself on a daily basis because you will drive yourself crazy scrolling through Facebook. You will drive yourself crazy with all the foolishness that goes on in the world. Take some time for just you and God to end your day and to begin your day. Before you go out in the world and see the world, make sure you take a little time for you and God. Let me catch this one call. Hey, call, we got about 2 minutes left to go. What's your question or comment?
I want you to call me when you get out the app.
Okay, this is at 8024.
I got it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right, we'll do, brother.
All right, thank you, Keenan.
All right. So again, thanks for everybody who always tunes in. We appreciate you. The judge is chomping at the bit. He about to beat the door in trying to get up in here. I know I done said something to lit his fire. So he chomping at the bit. So y'all make sure you stay tuned in for Judge Ali Shamsuddin.
Come on now.
Also, on Tuesdays, you got Southern Soul Tuesdays at the M Bar. We appreciate everybody who stays engaged in that from 5 to 7, live music, right when you get off work. And before we go, I want to say, never let anybody put you in a position when you don't love your own people. Because when you hate your own folks, you're part of the very oppression we're trying to lift ourselves out of. I love you, Jackson. I love you, Mississippi. Hand the man. Get us out of here, brother.